Hello, guys. Happy Tuesday. Um, I just wanted to hop on and talk about moving beyond this crazy stress of 2020. I think all of us can probably agree it's been a bit of an intense year, a lot of change. For some people, a lot of devastation and destruction. For others, a lot of growth and expansion. Hi, David. Um, and it's just been insane, right? So let's just acknowledge the pink elephant in the room. It doesn't matter how great or not so great your life has been this year. It's been stressful. Even if things are amazing in your own life, I'm sure you're probably aware of and feeling the intensity of everything and everyone else around you. And so, again, just wanted to hop on and actually give you 3 tips that I came up with for moving beyond the stress of 2020. So, the first one that I want to give you is really just to put the hammer down. Okay. Put the hammer down that you've been using against you to judge you, to make yourself wrong, to try to manipulate yourself into doing something better or greater. Whatever you've been using the hammer for, literal or imaginary, please, please, please just put the hammer down. Okay. And that goes for however you've been using it against yourself, and also maybe however you've been using it against other people as well. I think, especially here in the US, the media has done a really phenomenal job of, and whether that's social media or literal media, newspaper articles, radio, TV news shows, whatever it's been, the media has done a really phenomenal job of really one of the oldest tricks in the book since the beginning of time, which is to divide and conquer. There's power and there's strength in unity. And anytime you can get people to be pitted against each other, to be fighting, to even have an internal struggle within themselves of division and not unity, you render those individuals and those groups of people powerless. And so it's a strategy. And it's an effective one. That's why it continues to be used, not just in the media, but with many different organizations, groups, cultures, and many different ways. And so please put the hammer down. Stop fighting against one another, and please stop fighting within and against yourself. That division is heavy. It creates a very heavy contractive energy. And that's one of the ways that you know that something isn't true for you. When something's true for you and it really is an expansive energy, it will feel light. It will feel playful. It will feel joyful. That is universal truth. If it's heavy, if it's contractive, if it's creating division, if it's creating sadness, hi Elena, that's a lie. There's a lie present, whether it's a spoken lie, an unspoken lie. There is something that is present that is not true. And so please do not fall into the game of being pitted against one another, fighting against one another, and especially fighting within and against yourself. So the first one, again, in case you're just joining us, is please just put the hammer down. And that hammer is one that you can be using against yourself, and it's also one that you can be using against others. Seek the truth, find the truth, just let go of all of that chaos. And really, it's just a distraction from you knowing what is real and what is true, and being able to come together and actually create unity and create something greater. Okay. And the second thing second tip that I would like to give you to move beyond this crazy stress of 2020 is to just acknowledge you. There's a gift and a power in just simple acknowledgement. Whether it's, I got out of bed today, I showered today, I hit a goal, I woke up on the quote unquote right side of the bed versus the wrong side of the bed. Like, I mean, it could be anything, big or small. The gift of acknowledging you opens up the space to create even greater and create even more. And so, no matter how far off you feel like you are from your goals or where you thought you would be this year or where you thought you would be in your life, if you could please just take a moment now and even every day to acknowledge you for being you, for one, and for doing the absolute best that you possibly could have been doing and can be doing in this present moment with all the tools that you have available in the moment. And please just acknowledge that you have always done the best you possibly could with whatever you had in the moment. And this tip number 2 really kind of feeds on tip number 1 of putting the hammer down. Because if you're willing to just kind of take yourself off the hook and stop judging you and stop judging others and just acknowledge that you have always done the very best that you could and the very best that you can, thanks, beautiful, then it also opens up a space for you to create and to choose more, right? And it allows you to be present and aware and not distracted by all the noise outside of you that really is not you in the first place, and it never was you. Okay. And then the third tip that I would like to give you to move beyond the stress of this crazy, insane year of 2020 is to get moving. Okay. And when I say get moving, that really kind of relates to 2 different types of movement. So one could be literal physical movement. There is this thing that happens when you exercise or dance or ice skate or hike or whatever type of physical movement your body enjoys. It could be walking, whatever it is. There's a movement of energy that occurs, and it allows you to release a lot of that stuff that can create stress that just doesn't need to be there, right? Release it back to the earth, release it to wherever. Just let it go. Because when you kind of hold that stress in your body, that again creates that contracting energy that can then create even more internal turmoil. And then you can start doing things like creating illnesses and all kinds of other things and things that just don't work for your life or don't work for your body. And so the physical movement is a key component to just releasing and letting go of a lot of stress. The other part of that movement is to like get into action. I know that this year for a lot of people has kind of like stopped you in your tracks, or stopped us in our tracks, and we stopped creating and have had a lot of confusion about what's next. What do I do? Like, can I even do anything? Do I have to wait till the election's over? Like, just all this crazy chaos, right? And so wherever you are in that process, whether you've continued to keep creating or you've kind of slowed down or you have felt paralyzed by everything that's going on in this crazy world right now, I'm going to invite you to get moving on a simple goal, a simple task. Take one step towards that. It doesn't have to be this big, grand thing, but just take one step towards anything that you thought you already were going to accomplish this year, any new goal that you would like to set. Just take some movement. So if it's, for example, a goal to drop a few pounds, what kind of movement can you do towards that? It could be eating an apple instead of eating a piece of candy. It could be going on a walk. Whatever it might be, just take one small step and then go back to step 2 and acknowledge yourself for the steps that you are taking towards that goal. So all 3 of these tips really kind of are intertwined and interwoven within each other. And the more that you continue to acknowledge yourself, the more that you continue to make movement, both physical movement and movement towards the life that you would like to have, the greater your life will become, the less stressed you will be, the less distracted you will be by all of these mechanisms of design that are here to try to take you out of being present, to take you out of being joyful, to really create division amongst all of us so that we can't come together and create a greater world. So I hope you enjoy these tips for moving beyond stress in 2020, and I'll see you later.